Let's begin with the octahedral complexes. Octahedral complexes, they are formed by D2sp3 or sp3-D2 hybridization of the metal atom or ion. First, we will discuss D2sp3, which are also called as inner orbital complexes. And why they are called as inner orbital complexes? Let's see. First, we will consider the example of hexaamine cobalt. So, let's begin with what is the given complex here? Hexaamine cobalt. The metal ion, it is CO3 plus. Number of ligands, here 6 amine groups are attached to the central metal ion. So, there are 6 ligands, and nature of ligand, as amino group is there, it is a stronger ligand. Now, electronic structure of central metal ion, that is cobalt, whose atomic number is 27. So, its atomic orbital electronic configuration is argon 18, 3d7, 4s2, 4p0. So, here we want electronic configuration of CO3 plus ion. CO3 plus means 3 electrons are lost, and these 3 electrons, they are removed, 2 from 4s2 and 1 from 3d. So, the electronic configuration of CO3 plus ion, it will become argon 18, 3d6, 4s0, 4p0. In ground state, the electronic configuration of CO3 plus ion in box diagram is written like this. It has 3d6, 4s2, 4s0, 4p0. In hexaamine cobalt, 6 amine ligands, when they approaches towards the central metal ion, as amine, it is a stronger ligand, so it provides pairing up energy, and these 4 unpaired electrons get paired. Here, this electron paired up with this and this electron paired up with this. So, there are 3 pair of electrons. At the same time, 2 vacant d orbitals are formed. These 2 vacant d orbital from 3d level, 1 4s orbital and 3 4p orbitals, all are empty. They undergo hybridization, and there is D2sp3 hybridization. Cobalt ion, it possesses 6 D2sp3 hybridized orbital which accept electron pair from 6 NH3, which are represented in red color, and in this way there is a formation of complex hexaamine cobalt. So, in hexaamine cobalt, the hybridization is D2sp3 and its geometry, it is octahedral. Here, in hexaamine cobalt complexes, all electrons are paired. In 3d orbital, all electrons are paired. No unpaired electrons are there. So, it is diamagnetic in nature and its magnetic moment is 0. So, here one important thing we need to consider, that in hexaamine cobalt, it is also known as inner orbital complex. Now, what do you mean by inner orbital complex? The complexes in which d orbital involved in hybridization are from the lower energy shell than 4s and 4p orbitals. 3d, it has n-1, it is from n-1 level, while this is from ns level and this is from np. So, here d orbital which is used for hybridization, it is from lower energy shell than 4s and 4p. That means inner d orbital is used. So the complexes formed in such case are called as inner orbital complexes. Hexaamine ferrate ion while hexaamine cobalt are the example of inner orbital complexes. These inner orbital octahedral complexes use 2 n-1d, ns and 3 np orbitals and show d2sp3 hybridization. The pairing energy supplied by the formation of 6 strong bonds in the complex, and the structure of hexaamine cobalt, it is octahedral, which is represented like this. The hybridization of central metal ion, it is d2sp3, and the shape of the complex, it is octahedral, which is represented in this diagram. Now, magnetic property. In hexaamine cobalt, we just saw that during formation of hexaamine cobalt complex, CO3 plus provide 6 vacant orbital, that is 2d, 1s and 3p orbitals, and undergo d2sp3 hybridization. Hence, it is inner orbital octahedral complex. Since all electrons are paired, so hexaamine cobalt, it is diamagnetic in nature, and the observed and calculated magnetic moment of this complex is 0, as number of unpaired electrons are 0. The next example of d2sp3 hybridization, it is hexacyanoferrate ion. Hexacyanoferrate ion. So let's begin. Given complex hexacyanoferrate, metal ion, it is Fe3 plus. Number of ligands 6, and nature of ligand cyanide, it is a stronger ligand. Here central metal atom, it is Fe, whose atomic number is 26 and its electronic configuration is argon 18, 3d6, 4s2, 4p0. In the formation of Fe3 plus ion, 3 electrons are lost, 2 from 4s and 1 electron is lost from 3d. So now in Fe3 plus ion at ground state, it has 5 electrons in 3d level, while s and p orbitals are vacant. As I already told you, cyanide, it is a stronger ligand, so it provides pairing up energy, and here these 5, out of these 5 electrons, 4 electrons get paired and 1 electron it remain unpaired. It utilizes 2 d orbitals from 3d level, 1 s orbital of 4s and 3 p orbitals, and it undergo d2sp3 hybridization. These 6 empty orbitals of metal ion accept the electron from 6 cyanide ions, which are represented by red color, and the hexacyanoferrate ion complex is formed. Here you can see, during formation of hexacyanoferrate ion complex, it used d orbital which has lower energy level than 4s and 4p. That means the d orbital, it is from n-1 level, while s is from ns and np level. And that's why hexacyanoferrate, it is an example of inner orbital complex. As it possesses d2sp3 hybridization, it has octahedral geometry, and here number of unpaired electrons are 1. Due to the presence of one unpaired electron, it is paramagnetic in nature and its magnetic moment, if you remember, if n is equal to 1, then magnetic moment, it is equal to 1.73 Bohr magneton. Let's see. The pairing energy supplied by the formation of 6 strong bond in the complex, and here inner orbital octahedral complex use 2 n-1d ns and 3 np orbitals, and it shows d2sp3 hybridization. It has d2sp3 hybridization and the geometry of the complex is octahedral, which is shown here. During formation of hexacyanoferrate ion, Fe3 plus provide 6 vacant orbitals, 2d, 1s and 3p orbitals, and undergo d2sp3 hybridization. Hence, it is the inner orbital octahedral complex. Now, in hexacyanoferrate ion, as we discussed, there is one unpaired electron and hence it is paramagnetic. Here, calculated magnetic moment for one unpaired electron, actually it should be 1.73 Bohr magneton, but it is not matched with the observed magnetic moment, which is 2.30 Bohr magneton. That means the observed magnetic moment of this complex ion is not in favor with the calculated magnetic moment. So here the reason behind this is some factors other than spin only moment contribute to the total magnetic moment, and that's why there is a difference between the calculated magnetic moment and observed magnetic moment. Another example of D2sp3 hybridization with octahedral geometries are hexacyanochromate, hexacyanomanganate, hexamine chromium, hexacyanocobaltate and hexacarbonyl chromate. These are the chromium, these are the example. Another octahedral complexes, they possesses sp3d2 hybridization. The example of sp3d2 hybridization is hexafluoroferrate ion. So the given complex is hexafluoroferrate. Metal ion is Fe3 plus, 6 ligands, and fluoride, it is the weaker ligand. The atomic orbital configuration of Fe26, it is argon 18, 3d6, 4s2, 4p0. Electronic configuration of Fe3 plus ion, it can be written after 3 electrons are lost, 2 from 4s and 1 from 3d. So it becomes argon 18, 3d5, 4s0, 4p0. Fluoride, as it is a weak ligand, all the 5 electrons, they remain unpaired, no pairing is done. Here Fe3 plus ion, it uses its 4s, 4p and 4d orbitals, 2 4d orbitals to undergo sp3d2 hybridization. So these 6 orbitals, they undergo hybridization and they provide 6 empty hybrid orbitals. These hybrid orbitals of Fe3 plus ion, it accepts electron from fluoride ligand, which are represented by red in color. Here if you see, during the formation of FeF6 3-, the d orbital which is used for sp3d2 hybridization has similar energy level that of 4s and 4p, and such type of hybridization is known as sp3d2 hybridization or outer orbital complexes. As the F- is weaker ligand, no pairing energy is supplied, and electrons in inner d orbitals remain unpaired. So hybridization in FeF6 3-, it is sp3d2. Shape of the complex, it is octahedral. Now during formation of hexafluoroferrate ion, Fe3 plus provide 6 vacant orbital, that is 1s, 3p and 2 d orbitals, and undergo sp3d2 hybridization. Hence it is known as outer orbital octahedral complex. Now what do you mean by outer orbital complexes? The complexes in which d orbital involved in hybridization are from the higher energy shell or of equal energy shell than 4s and 4p orbitals. Hence they undergo sp3d2 hybridization, and this complex form is called as outer orbital complexes. Outer orbital octahedral complexes use Ns, 3np and 2 nd orbitals, not n-1 d orbital, but it uses outer d orbital and it forms sp3d2 hybridization. So what is the difference between inner orbital and outer orbital complexes? In inner orbital complexes, the d orbitals are used from inner side, while in outer orbital complexes, d orbital is used from outer side of higher energy. In hexafluoroferrate ion, since there are 5 unpaired electrons present, and hence it is highly paramagnetic and its magnetic moment is very high. Here n is equal to 5. So by using spin only formula, we can write down mu is equal to square root of 5 plus 2. That is square root of 35, and the value is 5.96 Bohr magneton. So the next example is hexaamine nickel ion, which is represented here. In this, the central metal ion is Ni2 plus, whose electronic configuration is like this, and it uses sp3d2 hybridization. In short, it is written, given complex hexaamine nickel metal ion is Ni2 plus, number of ligands are 6, nature of ligand stronger, hybridization sp3d2, geometry octahedral, unpaired electron 2, magnetism, it is paramagnetic, and its magnetic moment is 2.83. So, and complex, it is a outer orbital complex. Some another example of outer orbital complex or sp3d2 hybridization are shown here. Now, the last part of this chapter is limitations of valence bond theory. We saw that valence bond theory, it nicely explains the hybridization and geometry of the molecule, but still it has following drawbacks. First, It gives only qualitative explanation of structure, bonding and magnetic properties of complexes. It fails to explain quantitative properties. It cannot explain spectra of complex. It cannot explain detailed magnetic properties. It is assumed that all d orbitals are of equal energy. Valence bond theory does not consider the splitting of d orbital energy level. It again fails to explain tetragonal and distorted octahedral geometry of the complexes. It does not explain high spin and low spin complexes, and it does not give reason for inner and outer orbital complexes. So these are the limitations of valence bond theory. To overcome all these limitations, the new theory was developed, which we are going to discuss in next chapter. So, thank you everyone. Here we have finished second chapter, that is valence bond theory.